Hey Banana, how are you doing? So yeah, we have a fancy new schedule that I hope to be able to use consistently, but knowing me, shit changes often. So it's entirely possible that stuff changes on this, especially considering we might finish this game today, depending on how long this last trial segment is. But yeah. Other than that, let us go ahead and move on. Welcome to court. 7 years, all leading to one verdict. Verdict which you must decide. Is the defendant Vera Misham innocent or guilty? Courtroom doors are opening. The trial awaits. Are you ready to begin? Something inside me. Rising, surfacing. Oh wait, this is still Phoenix talking. Something important. Lost long ago. It's close now. So close. Just have to double check that I didn't fuck up anything. Because the throwing the schedule as the starting suit screen, it was like a last minute decision, like no joke. I did that like in a minute before stream started. It is now in session for the trial of Vera Misham. Hey look, it's Apollo. We went the entire stream last time without seeing Apollo. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution's ready to rock. Prosecutor Gavin, how is the defendant, Vera Misham's condition? Acute atroquinine poisoning, according to her physician. She could die at any time. Thus, her absence from the courtroom today.
What? They can't put her on trial without her being here?
It is unusual.
They should wait for her to get better and do it then. It's so bureaucratic of them.
That's being a little harsh. They can't delay the trial any longer. They risk having no one left to try. A trial without a verdict can only cause grief. The records of this case and experience tell us this. Apologies to the defendant, but the show must go on. Apollo grammar, yeah. Right. If Vera dies, the trial will be cancelled. I'm not going to let that happen. Mr. Wright told me everything that's been going on behind the curtain all these years. I'm going to get Vera her innocent verdict while there's still time. Very well, your opening statement, Prosecutor Gavin. The prosecution's case is unchanged by recent events. Hey Sachi, how are you doing? Also, give me a sec. Oh, also, I'm probably gonna be reiterating this a couple times throughout, Maddie will be real in 6 days. It's not even 6 days. Let me just turn this on for a sec. It's, 3 days. May 3rd, 3 days. Why did Veremisham succumb to poison? Because she couldn't live with the guilt of what she'd done. Objection! But Vera was poisoned with atroquinine. The exact same poison that took her father's life. What better confession could you ask for? Being the killer, she would have had access to the poison. But how did she get access to the poison in the first place, Clavier? Significant, since it's rather hard to come by. That is true. In other words, I see no need for further discussion. We could have had our verdict yesterday. Well, Mr. Justice, you have no objections. I see no reason to postpone a verdict. What we need to worry about isn't the verdict, but the trial itself. The defense holds that Veremisham is the victim, not the killer. If that's so, then you have to prove something. She was in court, giving her testimony before us. How do you propose her killer poisoned her? Oh, and incidentally, it would be nice if you told us who her mystery killer was. Prosecution's objection is sustained. I ask the defense to prove its claims to this court. Tell us how Veremisham was poisoned. I've got 2 things to prove here. Who did it and how. Which to hit first? How do we have this? Oh, we actually, it looks like we got a handful of evidence from Phoenix. Oh, okay. We got all of the stuff that was collected during the present section of the last investigation. Along with the diary page. Show how. How did the killer poison Veremisham? I'll focus first on the method used. Any comments before we begin, Prosecutor Kevin? Not a bottle or container of the poison was found on the defendant's body. I see. So the vector of poisoning is unknown. Defense prepared to prove that the poison reached Veremisham? Yes, Your Honor. Very well. What method was used to poison Veremisham? What's this? Aye, what a beautiful bottle. I'd like to give whoever designed that a hand. Is that nail polish? It's colorless. Ah. Something the matter? No, nothing. Nothing at all. I've lost Clavier's voice. Short lines are really hard for me to do, like, specific voices for, because I need, like... What's the right way? I need, like, a lead into the line, you know? Killer put poison in this bottle and made her drink it. As Prosecutor Gavin has told us, this is nail polish. Nail polish? It's like paint for nails. Know any women with red nails? Ah, my wife has red nails. I see, so she's been painting them all this time. Thank you, Judge. Thank you. Let's recall yesterday's trial. Remember when Vera was testifying to the court? I may have future sight, but I didn't see that one coming. The judge has a wife, yeah. I think he's actually mentioned her at least once before. Though I might also just be remembering information from this game from watching this game forever ago. Court is now back in session. Vera seems pretty tense. She's practically chewing her fingernails clean off. Whenever Vera became nervous, she had a habit of biting her nails. Her nails? Ah! Prosecutor Gavin? When the prosecution had Vera examined, did they check her nails? Bailiff, have them check the defendant's nails at once. Mr. Justice? Yes? Know who did this? Do you know who put poison in that nail polish? Yes. That bottle belongs to Vera Mission. Why do you ask? Know someone else who might have a bottle like this? No, just checking. Mr. Justice, you're about to accuse someone of poisoning that bottle of nail polish. Please dispense with the chatter. You realize the weight of this accusation. Here, let me show you. He holds up 2 fingers. Understood, Your Honor. No problem. I know what I'm doing this time. Let us ask, who poisoned Vera Mission via her nail polish? Take that! What's this? Gustav Gavin. Objection! What's your game? My bro, there's no way he could do a thing like that. You should know that better than anyone else. Indeed. He is behind bars. I know. However, that doesn't mean it was impossible to do what he did. What? Ask yourselves when he put the poison in the bottle. It could have been yesterday. It could have been a month ago. Maybe it was a year ago. Or perhaps it was 7 years ago. But Gustav Gavin had no motive for killing this poor girl. It's simply inconceivable. Prosecutor Gavin doesn't seem to think so. That face tells me one thing. Gustav Gavin's own younger brother doesn't find it inconceivable at all. Well, Prosecutor Gavin, we feel there's a clear and pressing need. We may have to summon Gustav Gavin from jail as a special witness. Fine. I've known for some time that an impenetrable darkness lurked at the bottom of this. A darkness that has swallowed even myself. Okay, the defense's wish is granted. Let prisoner Gustav Gavin take the stand. Bailiff, begin proceedings to call a special witness. Witness is Gustav Gavin, currently residing in solitary cell 13 at the Central Prison. Look at this smug bastard. Ah, Your Honor. How nice to see you again. It's been quite a while, hasn't it? To what do I owe the pleasure of your company? It's not every day I'm summoned from my solitary cell. In fact, it's never. I think you already know, Mr. Gustav Gavin. Kristoff is evil, Clavier is charismatic, and Orange is dumb. If I can figure out a way how to make it not look really shitty, I'm gonna put Orange Clavier on a thumbnail. I think you already know, Mr. Gustav Gavin. Ah, Mr. Justice. I hear you've been doing quite well for yourself. Why do I feel like somehow he's still my boss?
Stiff upper lip, Apollo. You can do it.
Does this bottle look familiar? Ariadne nail polish. Why, yes, I use it myself. As did the late defendant, I hear. She's not dead yet. And was there something concerning this bottle you wish to ask me about? I admit, I respect her for her taste in nail polish. Her taste indeed. This nail polish was how Vera Misham was poisoned. At Requinine, was it? Oh, well informed about this case, Prosecutor Gavin, or Mr. Gavin, not Prosecutor Gavin. Even in solitary, much comes to my desk, and I have nothing to do but read. Well, Clavier? Maybe you can explain this. You're being accused again. By him. Again. Ah. And? You agree with his accusation, do you? Let's hold a proper trial, shall we? First off, Gavin, your testimony, please. I'd be delighted. The charges against you are quite severe, Mr. Gavin. You are suspected of the poisoning of the defendant, Vera Misham. Please testify on this matter to the court. Owning the same nail polish does not a murderer make. I have been in solitary confinement for half a year. How could I poison her? Her daughter, wow. Her father died of the same poison, the meaning of which should be clear. The prosecution's case holds. She poisoned her father, then attempted to poison herself. Surely you aren't going to suggest I was responsible for poisoning her father, too. I know that this voice is, I know for a fact this voice is different than what I gave him before, but like, I feel like it's fitting. I'm afraid the defense's claim is sounding rather unlikely. Naturally. For one, I didn't even know the Mishams. Isn't that so, Mr. Justice? Very well, Mr. Justice, begin your cross-examination. I'm accusing Christoph Gavin, my ex-boss. But I know he poisoned the Mishams. The question is, when could he have done it? Not to mention, why? Honestly, I feel like I need to start, like... listening back to the episodes of these beforehand. I think I need to start listening back to the episodes of these beforehand to, like, get the voices in my head. Owning the same nail polish does not a murderer make. Hold it! Tell me, is this nail polish expensive? Ariadne is a nail polish of the highest order. Not only is it fabulously expensive, but it's made in extremely limited quantities. And you and Vera just happen to both use it? That can't be a coincidence. Objection! I'm guessing it's not a coincidence. Huh? It's simple. Ariadne is the best nail polish one can buy, correct? Then, if one wanted the best nail polish, one would buy it. That makes sense. Why, it's a bit like my feelings toward my brand name gavel here.
And my silk top hat.
We all done showing off our refined tastes? Please, continue with your tasteful testimony. I have been in solitary confinement for half a year. How could I poison her? Hold it! Can't you still make contact with the outside world in solitary? Objection! Ah, so he had an accomplice on the outside. Is this your latest accusation? I'm allowed a certain modicum of letter writing. Objection! But the contents of those letters are closely checked. It would be extremely difficult to send a hit request.
Prosecutor Gavin's on the warpath, isn't he?
Yeah, think so too, Trucy.
I bet I know why. He must be nervous with Big Brother watching.
Maybe that's a weakness I can turn to my advantage. Are we cool with that? May I continue? I feel like I keep accidentally lowering Kristoff's voice. Her father died of the same poison, the meaning of which should be clear. Hold it! The defendant is not dead yet. There are no known cases of someone surviving atroquinine poisoning. You seem to know a lot about atroquinine. Get your Gavel brand gavel from brandgavel.com. If you use code objection, you'll get 50% off. That's pretty good, Banana. I know a lot about a lot of things, which is why I suggest we pick up the pace, or else you'll be short one defendant for what she's worth. The witness will refrain from speaking ill of the ill. My apologies. Shall I continue? Prosecution's case holds. She poisoned her father, then attempted to poison herself. Hold it! Vera had no reason to want to commit suicide. And also, who would commit suicide by doing their nails? Objection! The answer's quite simple. Basically, better start making little voice profile videos for my visual novel streams. Yeah, well, you say for my visual novel streams, but I'd probably also do it for RPGs as well. Just because I feel like I'm really inconsistent with my voices. Probably mostly because, like, I have to bounce back and forth between so many that it, like, as it goes on, I kind of, like, nudge the voices off of where they were, and they end up completely different by the end. The answer's quite simple. Basically, allow me to explain, beginning with why did she do it? The answer's quite simple. She couldn't live with her own guilt. Next, why did she use nail polish to poison herself? This too is simple. So she could die doing something that she liked. Something that she liked? When she saw that the trial wasn't going her way, she knew she would die. And it's not easy to bring poison into a courtroom. He said the Sojiro thing. He did say. Wait, do you mean allow me to explain, or yeah. Like, when you said the Sojiro thing, Sachi, my brain immediately went to "who boy" instead of "let me explain." And I was like, I definitely didn't say "who boy." It's not easy to bring poison into a courtroom. Must I explain further? I believe that's clear enough. Crystal clear.
Wow, the two brothers get along like a two-man wrecking team.
They could use a little more teamwork, though. Surely you aren't going to suggest I was responsible for poisoning her father, too. Hold it! Both Vera and Mr. Misham were poisoned with atroquinine. That really can't be a coincidence. Wait a minute. I might be crossing wires, but, atroquinine is the poison that they, like, I've had this nagging feeling in the back of my mind that another visual novel like this used atroquinine specifically. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's Danganronpa V3. And I think it's, like, the second to last case in that game has something to do with, atroquinine poisoning. Though that might also be where the Strike 9 thing comes from, because I actually don't remember. That really can't be a coincidence.
Objection!
Is the defense is repeating fallacious statements based on conjecture. Danganronpa and Ace Attorney are in the same universe. You know, honestly, the one issue with that is the whole thing of the tragedy affecting like the whole world. If the tragedy was more localized, I could totally see that. The prosecution requests concrete, unambiguous proof of the witness's crime. Objection sustained. Counsel, please present concrete proof.
Does Prosecutor Gavin seem strange to you too? It's like he's all grown up.
I think that's how prosecutors are supposed to be, actually. Though he's acting different than usual. I'll bet it has a lot to do with his brother, Kristoff, being in the room.
Well, let's make this testimony count, Apollo.
Right, quick and painless. My bracelet should do the trick. Okay, I'm questioning my ex-boss. Danganronpa is just what prisons are like in Ace Attorney. Honestly, I think it would be really, like, it would be interesting to see, like, a Danganronpa-esque killing game with, like, all of the convicted people from Ace Attorney. The tragedy was how everyone in Case 3 got the gas leak. His testimony seems watertight, but he's lying. I'm sure I'll be able to see something, as long as I focus. Look at this smug asshole. Okay, so I think if I have to guess, my guess would be it's on this. And my reasoning behind thinking it is the simple fact of this is a unique, it's a unique, portrait. You know, you have a scar on the back of your hand? You know, Kristoff strikes me as the type of, villain whose tell would be an eye twitch. He's just unhinged enough that I could totally see having the evil eye be his tell. I hate, like, the one issue that I take with this is the fact that it has to play the animation every single time. He's either gonna have, like, a crazy eye twitch or some shit, or he's gonna have, like, the subtlest tell in the world. Don't ask me why I did these statements in reverse order for this, but... Okay, so his arm is His hand is in the frame for us to examine with this, so... You know, completely random tangent. There are some people that really don't like the supernatural elements of Ace Attorney, but like, I feel like Ace Attorney wouldn't be Ace Attorney without him, you know? Like, even as far back as the first game doesn't even have like supernatural lie detection in the form of the Magatama, but it still has spirit channeling. And like, it's so like essential to the core identity of Ace Attorney that like, you can't take it out. Or if you take it out, you have to like replace it with something, you know? Cause like, I'm not saying like, if you make a game like this, you have to have supernatural shit in it. Like, nah. That's what like, Investigations has like crazy bullshit in it, but so it gives it its uniqueness. Without him, it would just be generic. Am I supposed to just point at the cut on the back of his hand? I'm gonna try pointing out the cut on the back of his hand.
Gotcha!
Mr. Gavin, you're nervous about something. There's that finger pointing at me so rudely. That desperate gleam in your eyes. It's quite disturbing, actually. Perhaps because you have no faith in your own logic. Which is why you cling to your dubious power. Confident or not, I've come a long way, Mr. Gavin. Just a little more to go. Need a word. There must be some word that sends shivers down his spine. Is this gonna be more specific than one, Maybe he adjusts his glasses. You can usually tell, like, the best way to tell these, like, oh wait, his arm is like crossed in front of him there. You can usually tell when something, like, when it's the thing that it wants you to point out. So, because the way that you can tell is that it's, like, animated, like the mouth is. Father died of the same poison, meaning of which should be clear. So, I think the hint that the game gave us is that we're looking for, like, a word that causes a reaction. Like, a single word. Hey, Not, how are you doing? Eating right now? Nice. What you eating? Surely you aren't gonna suggest I'm responsible. Oh, what the hell was that? His hand twitched. How did I not notice that before? AFC, nice. Oh, okay, that's how I fucked it up. It's on a, okay, that's really specific. Yeah, his hand becomes a skull.
Gotcha!
It was you who killed Drew Misham. Bluff worthy of your new mentor, Mr. Wright. Oh, really? But you see, I saw it. Right when you said her father too. Your hand tensed unnaturally. A little devil appeared to give me the news. And let's assume for the sake of argument that you saw me being tense. What does that mean? Are all tense witnesses guilty? And tell me, was Drew Misham fond of nail polish too? Sorry, but there's more than one way to poison a man. You don't need nail polish to get it to someone's mouth. Then I must be very talented indeed. You see, Drew Misham was killed on October 6th, while I was already in my solitary confinement cell at Central Prison. If that's not an alibi, I don't know what is. But you found a way all the same. And I found it too. This is how you poisoned Mr. Misham. It's the stamp, right?
Take that!
I'm sure this commemorative stamp requires no introduction. The night Mr. Misham died, he was seen writing a letter. Atraquinine was found on this stamp, Mr. Gavin. So am I supposed to understand the stamp was the murder weapon? Yes, you are. Oh, and yes, this stamp was found in your prison cell. That is all, Your Honor. Order, order, order. Poison on the back of that stamp. After Drew Misham was killed, someone paid a visit to this witness's cell. Phoenix Wright.
Daddy.
That's when he found the stamp. You made Drew Misham write you a letter. That's how you killed him. What? My. You've upset my poor brother to the point of uselessness. Allow me to clarify this matter, Justice. All you need to do is recall witness Spark Brushell's testimony.
Well, that's the thing, see? After he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something.
His desk drawer?
Yes, a stamp. A so-called postage stamp, end quote.
He was looking for a stamp. Ergo, he had no intention of using this stamp. What are you getting at? What I'm arriving at is that this commemorative stamp was in a frame. It was mere coincidence that he used it that night. That would seem to be the case. Or perhaps you mean to suggest that I can somehow manipulate coincidence. He does have a point. How would this witness know if the victim was going to use that stamp? Without that, he couldn't have planned the murder.
What?
Really, Clavier? You should be seeing through these weak-spined bluffs by now.
He's right, though. How could anyone have known that Mr. Misham would use that stamp that night? Least of all, Christoph Gavin locked away in his cell.
Well, seems that the defense has run out of things to say. You assume he had something to say in the first place. I believe the defense's bluff has been called.
The defense's bluff? I'm not sure I agree with you there, Christoph.
Clavier?
Honestly, I wanted to believe you. But the defense wasn't trying to get away with the bluff. You were, Christoph.
What are you saying, Prosecutor Gavin?
Air forehead. What was your accusation again?
Huh?
Oh, it was that this poison stamp killed Drew Misham, yeah? To which my brother responded thusly. There was no way to know when Misham would use the stamp.
Yes, that's right, which is why it couldn't have been planned.
Tell me, it needs to be planned. Why? Why couldn't it have been a coincidence? Is the defense's case simply that Drew Misham died by that stamp? That's all.
Coincidence?
Christoph, you tried to slip out from under his accusation by changing the subject. If that's not bluffing, what is it?
What are you up to, Clavier?
I could ask you the same question, Christoph.
Huh.
I silenced the defense with the fewest words possible. It's called efficiency.
But Mr. Gavin, that's impermissible testimony.
Very well, I shall take his claim head on then.
Justice.
What?
You accuse me of Drew Misham's murder, yes? Then, allow me to ask you, what possible reason could I have to kill a painter?
Apollo, motive. He's talking about a motive.
Yeah, like, this... I love this bit, because, like, you know, you're not expecting Clavier to, like, actually call his brother on his shit. Indeed. It's hard to see how an attorney could come to want to kill a painter.
Now here's something. Why didn't he bring up the motive from the very beginning? Unless he was afraid that it was a battle he might lose.
So, what does it mean?
Means there might be a weak spot. Maybe I have some evidence to prove a motive.
Motive for murder. This is vital, if not the most vital element in this case. This is a vital, if not the most vital element in this case. Please consider this when making your statement.
I'd say it's about this vital.
That's pretty vital. Whoa, wait, we're at the final cross-examination already? Mr. Justice? I'm going through with this, no matter what. Understood, Your Honor. I'd like to present evidence. And let's see what you have for us. What reason did Christoph Gavin have for wanting to murder Drew Misham?
Take that!
Christoph Gavin's motive becomes clear when we consider why the stamp came to Drew Misham's studio in the first place. And why was that? Forgery, Your Honor. Go back 7 years. Drew Misham accepts his first job creating forged evidence. I've seen that before. Page from a diary, wasn't it? Like Niffy Grammary's diary. Ah, when attorney Phoenix Wright lost his badge, yes. This was the evidence he presented to his loss. This evidence is a fake, yes. But did Mr. Wright request the forgery be made? That was never proven.
Objection!
The defense attorney on that case was Phoenix Wright, who, other than him, drunk with the prospect of victory, could have done it. And why would they? Just out of curiosity, do you remember this letter? This is the first page. And this is the second. They were presented in court yesterday. This letter was sent to Drew Misham by the client who requested that forgery. The enclosed stamp was none other than the poisoned commemorative stamp. Drew Misham drew his last breath just the other day. However, the motive for his murder was already 7 years old. 7 years old. The client who requested this forgery was very cautious. He tried to erase anything and anyone with connections to the forgery. Keep them from talking. But he made a mistake.
The stamp was a picture of my favorite magicians, so I kept it. Father took me when I was very young. It was a great magic show. I loved it so much.
The killer's time bomb was delayed. The poison stamp was sealed within a glass frame, where it sat for 7 whole years. Air Forehead, do you understand what you're telling us? The one who schemed up the forged diary page was the one who poisoned the stamp. And it was Phoenix Wright who presented the forged evidence 7 years ago. Adding the two statements together, the one who schemed to kill Drew Misham was none other than Phoenix Wright.
Objection!
Sorry, but that's not how this is going to go down. Oh, then how will it go down? I checked through the records on that case when I found this. 7 years ago, just before the trial began.
Oh, old boy. Here.
What's this?
I don't know, I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair.
And one more thing. I'm sorry to have sprung this on you so suddenly. I received the files from your previous attorney only yesterday. I understand I'm asking the impossible of you. Yes, well, you haven't really told me what happened yet. All we did was play cards. And that was enough. Phoenix Wright was put on the case the day before the trial started. He didn't have time to request a forgery. The day before? Now here's a question. Just who was Shady Enigmar's previous defense attorney? No, this can't all be. But it is all true. There was another man, a defense attorney with a badge on his collar. It was you, Christoph Gavin. Order, order, order. What is the meaning of this? Yes, I mean defendant, a former lawyer. Let me begin by denying this.
Objection!
It's easy enough to look up, Mr. Gavin, and impossible to prove if you can't. Attorneys are registered with the court the day before the trial begins. In other words, no record remains in the court. How exactly did you intend to prove Phoenix Wright's claim? That would be difficult. Afraid this line of inquiry won't yield.
Objection!
Air forehead. Are you sure you don't have evidence?
What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks clammy.
Evidence. Evidence that shows this man, Christoph Gavin, requested that forgery 7 years ago. Clavier? Just prove it. Clear up these doubts now, or I swear I'm off this case.
He must have thought of some evidence, Apollo.
Prosecutor Gavin looks like he's in physical pain. And darkness. I have to pull that darkness out of him. Prove it, and proof is the only way I can. What proves Christoph Gavin's link to Drew Misham? Well, Mr. Justice, named Christoph Gavin requested a forgery of Drew Misham. Forgery of Drew Misham 7 years ago. Prove it. It can be proven. Simply ridiculous. Why even discuss it? This evidence does not.
Objection!
Are you telling the truth, Apollo Justice? I am. Then I say we give him the benefit of the doubt. Very well, but if you're wrong about this, be prepared for a penalty.
Objection!
Your Honor, you do the defense an injustice. Mr. Justice is clearly passionate about his claim. Should the penalty not match his passion? Jesus. I haven't given a penalty like that in a long time. Well, Mr. Justice? Fine, Your Honor. All I have to prove is any kind of link. Something that ties Christoph Gavin to Drew Misham. And I have something that clearly does the job. Very well, Mr. Justice. Present your evidence. Show us the link between our witness and Drew Misham. He should have gone 5-bar. Yeah. He should have hit the, he should have hit us with the Godot, let's go for the unlimited penalty.
Take that!
This evidence proves there's a link.
Objection!
That scrap of paper. I'm afraid I can't let you submit that. Is there some problem? There is. How could you possibly have that? You couldn't.
Hey, that's Daddy's handwriting.
Mr. Wright's handwriting? What is the meaning of this? Ah, I see now. Yes, of course. What do you mean, of course? I just remembered I had a visitor yesterday. Phoenix Wright came to my cell, except I wasn't there. Phoenix Wright. When I returned, I saw he had something of mine in his possession. Of course, I had no intention of letting him get away with reading my private mail. Mail? And this letter was in your cell. No. However, it appears Mr. Wright has yet to be cured of his bad forging habit. Well, if it's a forgery, it's not a very good one, Handwriting's terrible. This is Mr. Wright's reproduction of what was written in the real letter. Reproduction? When Mr. Wright visited Christoph Gavin's cell, he brought with him a small video camera. What? He recorded his entire conversation with you, Mr. Gavin, and the contents of your personal mail. Regardless, this mockery of a piece of evidence will never be accepted by the court. Evidence based on a video, man with no authority whatsoever claims he took. A man who happens to be an ex-attorney suspected of forgery. Prosecutor Gavin? Prosecutor Gavin? As embarrassing as this is for me to say, I'm afraid my brother is incapable of making rational judgments at the moment. Your Honor, your decision, please. Defense's claim is denied.
What?
Only actual evidence is permitted in a court of law. Please remove the defense's evidence from the record. Better luck next time, Justice. Well, we've certainly taken a detour from our cross-examination, but the defense appears to be lacking proof. I'm forced to end the cross-examination of Christoph Gavin at this point.
Apollo, do something.
I'm thinking, but without evidence. I don't have anything I can use on him. Why don't you ask them to conduct a search of his cell? Very well, this ends the special witness's cross-examination.
Objection!
The show's over, yet the crowd screams for more. Only now do I understand why. Prosecutor Gavin? Frankly, I'm relieved. This has been bothering me for 7 whole years. And I'm tired of the whole youthful angst scene. Now's our chance. Let's clean out the family closet, eh, Christoph? Javier, you're spinning out of control. Calm yourself before you say something you'll regret. Spinning out of whose control? Mine or yours? Take a moment to consider everything you've built. Your reputation as a prosecutor. Your fame with the masses. You could lose it all, Clavier.
Apollo, did you see that? He's trying to press Prosecutor Gavin.
Prosecutor Gavin, try to remember what's really important to you. You amuse me, Air Forehead. I couldn't forget what's really important to me, even if I tried. In fact, I haven't. Not even once. 7 years ago. Finally. You just couldn't resist, could you, Air Wright? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness. State your name and occupation for the record. I'm familiar with the trial. I've watched the video several times. Didn't you find anything unnatural about it? Unnatural? Well, you did seem unusually well prepared. I mean, Mr. Wright had only just presented his evidence. And the next moment you call in Drew Misham. It was almost as if... Almost as if what? Funny. Didn't even occur to me to wonder. But now that I do, I see there's only one possible explanation. Almost as if, from the very beginning, you knew Mr. Wright was going to present that evidence. Ah. Correct. I knew that if I applied the usual pressure,
Phoenix Wright would eventually come up with that forged diary page.
Don't do this, Clavier.
I knew because you told me, Kristoff.
What?
It was the night before the trial. Clavier. Kristoff, odd seeing you at the prosecutor's office the day before a trial.
I won't be appearing in the trial, actually.
Huh? Why not?
I won't be facing off with you in your first trial, apparently. But in exchange, I brought information.
Information?
The attorney who will be there in my place tomorrow is not to be trusted. Don't even give him the benefit of your respect. Listen, I want you to call in a special witness. Then,
I wondered about it at the time.
Apollo's parrot face is very funny. Yeah, I know. It's great.
How did Kristoff know so much?
Prosecutor Gavin.
Kristoff, we were supposed to face each other in that trial. A fair fight, brother to brother. I deserve that much. You let me borrow the victim's belongings. You showed me all your research on the case.
The victim's belongings.
Which would have included Magnifi's diary, wouldn't it? Mr. Gavin?
My, Clavier.
You disappoint me. You find trees, yet miss the forest. You're the one missing the forest, Mr. Gavin.
You can't sweep this under the rug. Not anymore. Tell me what was going on behind that trial.
Why not? I've achieved what I came here to do. I see no harm in a little reminiscing.
Apollo.
I think we're finally going to shine a light on the black belly of this thing, Trucy. We've done everything we could. I hope it's enough. 7 years ago, the day before the trial, I visited the detention center at the request of my client, Zach Gramarye. Two cards. One card. Showdown time.
Enough.
You lose, Kevin. Thanks for the work. Now go.
To be honest,
No, wow, I slipped into Clavier voice. To be honest, I don't know what his reasons were to this day. As far as I could tell, he dismissed me as his representation because I lost in a game of poker. I can come to no other conclusion.
Daddy used to say something. If you want to know a man, you have to compete.
Zach wasn't watching his points or the cards. He was watching the man behind the cards, Kristoff Gavin. I couldn't believe it. Phoenix Wright? A second-rate attorney who lies on luck and bluffs. He dismissed me. And with that pitiful excuse for a man, he deserved to die for that error alone. Hold it. So, the one who requested that forgery was... Oh, I'm not admitting to anything. My point is... These two men shamed me, and I could not forgive that. Phoenix Wright and Zach Gramarye both deserved what they got. So you asked Mr. Misham to forge that evidence, so you could win. But then when you were dismissed as Zach Gramarye's attorney, you used your forged evidence as a trap.
You fed me information about the forgery you made. Then you gave your dirty evidence to him.
You're free to imagine what you will. My point is that all I had imagined came to pass. Everything went perfectly. Incredible. If I wasn't laughing, I'd weep. Prosecutor Gavin? Perfectly. You're mad, Kristoff. Stop fooling yourself. What are you talking about, Clavier? Tell me, how did that trial end? Cancelled. And then vanished. Edgeworth would punch you in the face if he heard you saying that. Sorry, I need to stretch for a sec. Cancelled. And then vanished. Sorry. Ah, I get it. So, Kristoff, you have been living in fear for 7 years. What? You were afraid your forgery would be revealed and your reputation trashed. You couldn't leave things to chance. So you watched everyone involved with the case for 7 years.
You know, he always felt like he was being watched. That's what he said, every day for 7 years.
You know, weirdly enough, if you take the colors off of Brushell's face, he looks better without, like, the stubble beard. He looks significantly better without it, actually. Like, if he didn't have the stubble beard, he would look significantly better and less gross.
But I felt it too. Journalists sure he's being watched. End quote. Don't you wonder why Zach Gramery got rubbed out after 7 years?
He's still disgusting, though.
Right after coming into contact with me.
Wait just a minute. Zach Gramery was seen by this reporter. Is that possible? Is he alive after being gone 7 years? Sorry, I'm gonna pause again. Finally. I knew this moment was coming. I just didn't think we'd get here so fast. Zach Gramery, gone missing for 7 years. Trucy's father.
What's wrong, Apollo? Go get him.
Right, leave it to me. Right after this ad break. Here, I will oblige your ad break. I will be back in a minute. I'm actually gonna do a BRB. Okay, I'm back. We gotta wait like another couple seconds for the ads to end. Thank you for the hydrate, banana and not. Allow me to refresh the court's memory. 6 months ago, Christoph Gavin was charged with murdering a mysterious traveler. I remember him quite well. J.D. Smith, was it? Poisoned in a Chinese restaurant. Tragic. The details don't really matter right now. What matters is that that traveler was Zach Gramarye.
What is it, Apollo?
Huh?
Keep going. We'll talk about it later.
Did she already know? Please explain this. Mr. Justice, can you explain this? It all started 7 years ago. The great magician, Magnifi Gramarye's death started it. Magnifi Gramarye's death and his student Zach Gramarye the suspect. Whoever defended Zach in court successfully would be famous beyond belief. Thinking that, Christoph Gavin did the unthinkable. He forged evidence. Rumisham. Actually, it was his daughter, Vera, who really did the work. I like her little, like, teddy bear notepad. You took precautions when you had that forgery made, didn't you, Mr. Gavin? Precautions? To keep people from talking, of course. These two know too much. Leave them alive and there'll be nothing but trouble. That's when you planned your poisoning of the forgers. Atroquinine applied to a commemorative stamp. But luck was on Mr. Misham's side. The bomb didn't go off. Daughter. Saved him by taking the stamp, I see. But that wasn't the only bomb he set up. The Ariadne nail polish. Of course. You noticed something when you requested that forgery. When Vera Misham is nervous, she has a bad habit. A tendency to bite her nails. Ah. That nail polish was her good luck charm. Almost kidnapped once. Since then, she's been, well, you can see for yourself. Refuses to leave the house.
And that person gave me a good luck charm. For when I absolutely had to go outside. It protects me.
Yes, apparently she received something. A gift. Won't tell me what it was. From that client, the one who wanted that note made. It was his insurance. Insurance? As long as she lived quietly at home, there was no danger to her. But what if she had to go outside? If she ran into any trouble, she'd become nervous. And the nail polish would do the rest. His time bomb sat there for 7 years. And then, they went off almost simultaneously. If you're finished, may I return to my cell now? I'm not accustomed to standing for such long periods of time. Mr. Gavin, have you heard a single thing we've said? Oh, I listened quite closely to your little tale. Quite an entertaining piece of fiction. What? Lavier, surely you understand. Then back to the evidence. The lacking evidence. Nothing proves a link between him and the atroquinines that took Drew Misham's life.
Objection!
What about the restaurant? You killed Zach Gramarye to keep him from talking. I killed no man of that name. Read over the report again if you'd like. The victim was a traveler by the name of Shady Smith, about whom we know little else. You can't seriously think I knew he was that particular fugitive.
Objection!
Okay, then why did you kill him? I plead my right to remain silent. Remember, this court did not convene to put me on trial. Defendant's name is Vera Misham, suspected in the murder of her father. My trial's been finished for 6 months now. I'm afraid we've strayed considerably from our purpose here. This court concurs with the witness. Is defendant Vera Misham who's on trial here?
No, but you were doing so well, Apollo.
As long as there is no evidence to support the accusation against him, this course of inquiry cannot find Vera Misham innocent.
Objection!
Your Honor, Phoenix Wright spent 7 years collecting this evidence.
Objection!
You still don't get it, do you? Let us assume there was poison in the nail polish. Who then was responsible for causing Vera Misham to bite her nails? What? It wasn't me, I know that much. Technically speaking, it was you, actually. Because the only reason that she started biting her nails is because of Clavier, who looks identical to you because you caused her trauma. It wasn't me, I know that much. The one who brought that poison to her lips was you. What? Evidence is everything. There's nothing more. I believe this discussion has reached its conclusion. Your Honor. Mr. Justice, you performed admirably well for a novice attorney. I respect your partner, Phoenix Wright's determination as well. However, without direct proof, you have nothing. Isn't that right, Clavier? Unfortunately, yes, Kristoff, you're right. That is, you would have been right, until now. What? I did Apollo's voice. What? Did the news not reach your desk in solitary? The eyes of the nation are in this courtroom today. This is the trial case for a new judicial system. That's right. I'd totally forgotten. You stressed her the fuck out so she licked the poison on her nails, wouldn't even fly in the court of Monokuma. The jurist system. Jurists, you say? The current judicial system is deemed has been deemed too closed off from society. This new system attempts to inject the wisdom of common citizens into the law. Common citizens? Wisdom? Is this some kind of joke? What could we possibly gain by doing this? Trusting our judicial system to a mindless, emotional mob of irrational mouth-breathers? Common citizens have something called common sense, something you clearly lack, Kristoff. Common sense is not restricted by the law. Nonsense. There's only room for two in this court. Me and the law. Keep the riffraff out. Out, I say. They're not in the court, actually. They're watching everything by video camera. How can you allow this? Incidentally, the one responsible for making this happen was Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright? So, everything was leading to this. Of course. Right. 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 Right! I won't accept. I can't accept. This is no court. Law. The law is everything. The law is absolute. You let ignorant swine soil your courts? Kristoff, it's over. Clavier? The law is absolute. You can't be serious. What? Odd. I thought you spent your life looking for loopholes. The law isn't absolute. It's filled with contradictions. The law is the end product of many years of history, the fruit of human knowledge. Like a gem polished to a gleam through trials and errors. This fruit we receive and pass on, it is this fruit we receive and pass on, and face in our time. It's always changing, growing, nurturing it is our task as human beings. Except for you, Kristoff. You aren't changing. You've stopped. You're not needed anymore. Couldn't think of anything to say. Maybe because I still haven't seen enough. But someday, I'll know what law is. And I'll fight to change it if I have to. I see no need to further prolong this trial. It began as the trial of Vera Misham, accused of murdering her father. Painter Drew Misham. However, several other incidents were reviewed. We seem to have reached a conclusion. Before this court declares a verdict, I await your decision. Jurist of the court, for the death of Drew Misham, how do you find the defendant, Vera Misham? Innocent or guilty? I turn to you now to consider this matter. This ends the trial for this case. Only the verdict remains to be decided. Defendant Vera Misham is currently in intensive care. If a decision cannot be reached today, it may never be reached. Factors involved are simple. Did the defendant poison her father that night? If so, she's guilty. Or was there another reason for Mr. Misham's death? Did another person poison him? If so, she's innocent. A panel has been provided for each of you to input your decisions. That is all.
Please, wait.
Yes, jurist number 6?
There's something in the jurist handbook here. Persons involved in the case may not be jurists.
That is correct. I've looked into all your dossiers. None of you were involved with the development of the case.
With the development of the case, I see.
Does that answer your concern? It's time for your verdicts. Make your decision in the case against Vera Misham. After 7 years, the truth is ready to be heard. Judge wisely, judge well. And so, a verdict was reached on October 9th, 2:14 p.m. First verdict under the Jurist system. Innocent by unanimous decision. Record will show that when the verdict was announced, Special Witness Christoph Gavin laughed. A laugh louder than any had heard before or since. A laugh that echoed in the halls of justice, lingering for what seemed like hours. October 10th, 8:30 a.m., the morning after the trial. In an intensive care ward, a true miracle occurred. Vera Misham opened her eyes. Vera! I'm so glad
Don't cry, Apollo. I'm happy too, and proud. You did well, Apollo. When I thought about what if Vera,
Hey now, don't you start crying too. Sorry you had to see us like this. Vera?
Thank you so much. Apollo, thank you.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have pressed you like that. If I hadn't, you never would have bitten your nails.
No, I was wrong. Staying locked inside like that, clinging to my good luck charm.
Vera.
When I opened my eyes, I saw you, and I finally understood. It's important to be part of the world. To see things with your own eyes.
It's like that poison had some effect after all. Killed off whatever was holding Vera back from life.
I knew you'd pull through, Vera. I mean, that's what Apollo was fighting for the whole time. Your future. I won't forget it. Here, let me thank you.
No, really, it's okay. Aww.
Oh, look, it's me. I love it, thanks.
Is that me?
She really captured your essence, Apollo. Well, I think so at least. That reminds me. Do you know where the other lawyer is?
The other lawyer?
Oh, you mean Daddy. Except he's not a lawyer anymore. It's my fault, isn't it? I'm sorry. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. No, it's okay. I'm through looking away from the things I've done. I hope I can look him in the eyes again someday and apologize.
Sure, he'd be happy to hear that. Fuck. That's making me tear up.
He brought all those things for me when he came to visit earlier.
In that stack of videos? Mr. Wright finished watching them all?
You know, I knew my real daddy was alive.
Huh?
I was there 7 years ago, remember? I was the one who helped him vanish from the courtroom.
You did what? How?
I'm not telling. He promised me that one day, or that the day, he promised me that day he went away.
May not meet again for some time, Trucy. Know this. I'll be watching, and one day I shall return. Or the next Grammary, after all. Oh, Trucy. In the end, he couldn't keep that promise, could he?
It's okay. Phoenix is my daddy now, even if he can't really play the piano.
That he can't.
Oh, and I've got you too, even if your voice is kind of loud sometimes.
Glad I made your list.
Hey, come to think of it, where is Daddy? The one who can't play. Do you know Apollo?
Do you think Phoenix just records everything going on, including the Steel Samurai stuff? I just had the, like, I just had the stupidest idea. Imagine if Phoenix's little stupid hat camera, imagine if he was live streaming the whole thing. I don't know why the idea of that is so amusing to me, but there's just the whole idea of, like, Phoenix doing, like, all of the shit with Kristoff while he's, like, live streaming to an audience. But yeah, like, one thing that I really love about this game is, I know that some people, like, some people don't like Phoenix in this game, and I don't really, like, it's a bit weird to explain considering that you kind of inhabit his POV for the entire original trilogy, but, like, Phoenix is very, like, cagey. Like, he does not tell people shit in the original trilogy unless he absolutely has to. You won't believe what this ex-defense attorney did to the elusive Zach Gramarye. I think he said I had to meet someone.
I wonder. Maybe it's a new mommy. Oh, Trucy? Yes, Vera. I was wondering, could you show him to me once more? Sir Hat, was it? Oh, he's not been knighted yet. Here goes. Do us an impersonation, Mr. Hat.
But, like, I genuinely really love Phoenix's characterization in this game, especially because, like, Phoenix is just a good boy all around. Like, he doesn't hold the Mishams responsible for what happened to him. He doesn't hold a grudge about that. And not only that, he also, like, he also takes in Trucy after Trucy's dad basically ruined his career. Phoenix in this game is like Phoenix, yeah. The only reason that Phoenix in this game seems like the absolute, like, most cunning mastermind bastard is because we don't have access to his inner monologue the whole time. Objection. Ahem. Not loud enough. And I like Miss Magic Underwear better anyway.
That's magic panties, Apollo.
So, your memory's returned.
Mr. Wright, was this all part of your plan, too?
I don't know what you're talking about. Phoenix isn't some superhero, he's just one lucky bastard. Absolutely.
When I lost my memory, I was reborn as Lemrar. But you knew my true identity, did you not? That's why you chose me as one of your jurists.
Ah, you're thinking into it too much. Beside, there's no guarantee that regaining your memory would make you happy.
Of course it's a happy thing. And for so long, I thought I was alone. But now I know I have children. 2 dear children.
Phoenix didn't meet with Trucy's new mom. He met with her old mom.
I'm so proud of them. This, too, I think, is thanks to you.
You going to tell him?
They do not know?
Nope. They don't know their mother. They don't even know their siblings.
I'll go to them, when the time is right. Until then,
Don't worry, I'll take care of them for you. They're very important to me too. A little annoying at times, but still. I have to keep an eye on her at least. 'Cause I'm the only one who knows how she really feels on the inside. Your bracelet.
yes?
I've seen a lot of mysterious things these past 7 years. Your bracelets were the strangest of all. Really? Front-facing Apollo isn't real. He can't hurt you. Jersey has 3 Christmases. Phoenix, Edgeworth, and Thalassa. Nick's had to deal with so many corrupt people in the justice system. He's just become extremely shrewd in dealing with these fuckers. I remember meeting him half a year ago now in Christoph Gavin's office. Then I met you. 2 fates destined to intertwine. And I was there when they crossed. I'll never forget that.
And such a small thing, that bullet. Yet it tore who I was away.
Hey, Mr. Scoot, how are you doing? Welcome in.
And 10 years ago, during a simple rehearsal. It was a miracle no one died. But I didn't survive that accident.
Doing good? Nice. Phoenix has enough experience with people that his go-to response is, oh, really? Yeah.
That is why I left the troupe. My family. Now my memory is returned. I'm myself once more. And for the first time, I'm glad to be alive, Mr. Wright.
Speaking of miracles, Vera Mishima gained consciousness this morning. I can only hope she's as glad as you are.
It is a strange thing, fate. And sometimes a life is taken, and sometimes a life is spared.
You know what I've been thinking? People don't die that easily, really. As long as they've got something worth living for. And that's pretty much the end of my story. For now, anyway, until the other 2 games. I've had a long way to go, and this power of mine, well, it needs some work. But there's hope now. We lost it, but somehow we found it again. That's why people are smiling again. Hope. Yeah, I think I'll keep at this lawyer thing for a while. Oops, training time. Gotta go. Cords of steel. Here comes justice.
Objection!
You know, I finished this game significantly faster. Oh,
I'm glad you're staying with the agency, Apollo. It's like I found my long-lost big little brother. Oh, and don't you worry about Troop Grammary. Trucy's on the case. Now that I have this, thanks to Daddy.
Jake Grammary? Frankly, I have my doubts, but had Grammary, that'll pack him in. It's because, most of the time, it's like 5 cases. It's not every day that you get a trial that rocks harder than one of our gigs, yeah? That's why it's over. The governors are breaking up. This news caused the run on tissues and at supermarkets. On supermarkets nationwide. Yours the real stars now. I look forward to our next jam session. He still kept the guitar, yeah. It's definitely not because they didn't have another portrait of Clavier's office. Well, it's finally over. You know, thinking about it, I've been a piano player longer than I was a lawyer. Now that everything's sorted and I got time on my hands, maybe I'll take some lessons. Or maybe I'll take the bar exam again. He then proceeded to do the second one. Oh, hi, Emma.
And so, I was standing around eating snackoos the other day, when I got this crazy idea. What if they were golden? You could augment the crunch, or better yet, make them ding. Ah, the power of science. Although the preservatives might not be 100% safe.
You mean my voice is Mr. Scoot?
likely event you are wanting Russian feast. Welcome to the Borscht Bowl Club. The only thing colder than restaurant is borscht. But if greater challenge is required, then come to the hideout. You know who to ask for.
I'm gonna read that one out loud in a sec, I just don't want to read it while I'm in the middle of the credits. Emma, why are people getting food poisoning from Saku's? Yeah. Clavier's voice requires more brain processing power.
And so, Kitaki pastries are getting back to its eastern roots. Spread the culture and all. Yo, boss, culture time.
This is how we write root, capiche?
But we're still about giving back to the people. Yo, boss, PR time.
And this is how we write people, alright?
Not that Waki's paying any attention. Kids.
I'm glad you like my voices, Mr. Scoot.
Air forehead. It unfortunately seems I could not keep up with being first and second guitarist of the band.
Bizoi? Chinese characters on a cake was a fly idea like 3,000 years ago. Man, you gotta make it today. You gotta keep it real, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's why I made the OG cracker, for real. I know it don't look like no cracker, G. What, you want me to call it the OG muffin? No, those are his eyebrows.
I am incapable of being a band by myself.
I don't know where all this talk about food is coming from. You ask me, there's only one food, and it's noodles. Noodles forever. Got a new one too, see? This time I just put a big chunk of salt in the bowl. Why pretend? Eldon's noodles got the salt. Salt forever. How do we break it to Waki that he should never go near a pastry again? Oh god, Hugh.
My exceptionally inquisitive nature has won me unequivocal adoration in my department. You see, they used to call me Wesley Stinkler, and
I missed the second part of that.
but no longer. I have a new name, one that reflects my true academic nature. Wesley Sicko reporting. Yes, curiosity is a sickness, and I am the cure.
Wesley Sicko is a great... It's accurate.
I don't know how to thank you all for what you've done. Light has returned to my life, and with it joy. I might have lost years, but I gained a treasure. 2 treasures, in fact. I'll think of them when I write my next song.
Hope he gets hit by a truck.
Brusher, brush, brushel. Brusher, brush, brushel. Brushel here, back on the beat with another interview. How do I feel about how things turned out? No scoop yet, but journalist confidence in mint condition. End quote.
Do you think Spark Brushel would have a podcast?
I've decided to keep painting. Originals only, of course. I suppose I'll have to see a bit of the world outside to find what to paint. But I know there are good people out there now. I've met them. The door is open. The world is waiting. Thank you.
You want to know a little innocuous design detail that you might not have noticed on that picture? have you ever noticed that, underneath Trucy's hat, she has little hair horns as well? No, we are not continuing into Dual Destinies. As much as I would like to. I need to give my voice a break. Otherwise, we'd be jumping into Valhalla, but... So, quick thing. See? She's got little tiny hair horns underneath her hat. So no proto-violence. No, not right now. There's a poll happening in the Discord right now. For what game we do next. The three options are what all did I put on there? I think it was Pizza Tower, Pikmin 2, and Metroid Prime 2. I think are what I put on there. I had to kind of scramble to scrape together a poll. I was like, wait, shit, I don't think I'm gonna be in tip-top shape to be able to do voices for multiple extra hours on end for, Also, Dual Destinies has 6 parts, by the way. And so does Spirit of Justice. So, Spirit of Justice and Dual Destinies are going to be long. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do Dual Destinies, or, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna do this trilogy all back to back. I didn't mean to do that, whoops. I don't know if I'm gonna do the entire Apollo trilogy back to back, because I do want to play the Investigations games, but I don't know if I want to leave the Investigations games to last. So, now the question of what to do. Because we still have... Ace Attorney's music is great. We can set... We can set the music and shit on the title screen as well. We can set the title screen music to this. Golden on beginner lobbies? Oh god. Wait, you can't see those. We haven't got to those bits yet. I'm very much looking forward to doing Dual Destinies, because Dual Destinies hits the point in mainline where I haven't properly experienced most of it. It'll also be nice to see the brand new fancy models. So, I guess Dual Destinies is nice. I really like Athena from Dual Destinies. I don't really know a whole lot about her, but who's ready for emo Apollo? Yeah. Apollo going through his JoJo phase. So, I guess let's... Yeah, I know that a lot of Athena's backstory stuff is like really heavy spoiler territory, but I like the mood matrix. Like, people seem to hate the mood matrix, but I like the mood matrix. Yes. Let's see, we have, what, an hour and a half? Hey, what do y'all say to me ending stream real quick and then restarting stream, and we'll cram a Celeste speedrun into the remaining stream time? What do y'all say to that? I just need to end stream to segment it off. Okay, it's gonna take me a sec to reconstitute my whole setup. But holy shit, we finished this game significantly faster than I thought we were going to. I thought we were gonna have at minimum one more episode, but... So, yeah, I will be back shortly once I have everything set up. Don't go anywhere. I will see you in a moment.